Okay, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our participants and, of course, our presenters connected today for this agriculture webinar on the ZFU Ecofarmer Combo with Trey Waters and Mildred Makore from Mercy Corps, who are both at this time in Zimbabwe, connecting to present their experience to the agriculture community of practice. Thank you for connecting today. I hope that we will have some more participants joining us throughout my introduction so they are in time for the presentation from Mercy Corps. And today we will talk about the ZFU Ecofarmer Combo. So just for a little bit of background, in the month of June and July, we organized a call for good and promising practices on the use of ICTs for agriculture. And many of our community members submitted practices, and we selected 15 to be published by the end of this year, early next year. And we made our top 3. And the ZFU Ecofarmer Combo from Mercy Corps made it to the top 3. So we thought it would be great to have Trey and Mildred talk a bit more about it to our members and participants. So they are here with us today. Thank you for making time to do this. And we have 2 presenters. So we have Trey Waters, who's the director of the AgriFin Mobile Programme at Mercy Corps. And this program started in 2012 and is ongoing in Indonesia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. He has over 8 years experience working on international projects with a focus on business and economic development. We also have with us Mildred Makore, who's the director of programs from Mercy Corps Zimbabwe, and she's specifically working also on the AgriFin Mobile Cluster. She is a seasoned financial inclusion practitioner, having worked also for the National Department System at the Central Bank of Zimbabwe. So both of them will present their experience, and this will take about 20-30 minutes, and then we will have good half an hour for your questions. So to make our webinar a bit more fluent and easy, we will take questions in the chat box throughout the presentation, but we will keep them for the second part of Q&A. So I'm going to take note of them, and then I will bring them back to our presenters when they are ready with their presentation. So feel free to type anything in the chat. Both Tembani, my colleague, and I, we will monitor it, and we will bring the questions to the presenters afterwards. Raising hands, I just see somebody doing it. Will not work. We cannot give everyone the floor with the microphone because it's technically a little bit too difficult. So any questions in the chat box and we will try to help you. Trey and Mildred, I leave the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Alex. Welcome everyone today, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us to learn a little bit more about the EcoFarmer Combo. So we'll start off by giving a brief overview of AgriFin Mobile. AgriFin Mobile is a program that is funded by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation. It started in 2012. It's been in 2 phases. We're currently in phase 2, and it's set to end in May of 2018. And the program is currently operating in Indonesia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. And so today we'll be focusing on AgriFin Mobile's work in Zimbabwe and with our partnership with Econet and the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, which Mildred will talk more about later. So just more in general about AgriFin Mobile, our kind of theory of change is farmers receiving digitized bundled agricultural and financial services will be able to increase their income and yields. The thought process is by using digital services such as mobile phones, tablets, things like that, we're able to provide services to farmers in rural areas that they weren't easily able to access previously. And we'll get into more details about how we do that as a program and how it works specifically with the ZFU Ecofarmer Combo. So the AgriFin Mobile Program objectives are, objective one is sustainable and scalable business models for the delivery of rural advisory services and financial services. So for us, sustainable and scalable business models means that the private sector partnerships that we're talking about today will exist after the program ends. It's very important for us to make sure that none of these projects or these partnerships are donor dependent, and that these are, like we said in the objective, sustainable business models. And one of the ways that we'll be testing this is there will be an evaluation of the program 1 year after the program ends to see how everything carried on without our interventions. Objective number 2 is male and female smallholder farmers have access to and make accurate use of rural advisory services and financial services. So these are more the products that we've been developing with our partners, less from the business model perspective, but more on like what the farmers are able to use and what they find value in. And the third objective is to kind of take our knowledge of the business model, services, and products, capture them and share them widely to influence policy, share learnings, enable replication. So that's why we're doing webinars like this one today. We are producing learning documents that we can kind of share with more people if they're interested. We will have our email addresses at the end, and we can add you to our email list. But this is, we've learned a lot since over the last 6 years, since 2012. And so the goal is to make it so that other development practitioners, researchers can build off of our learnings and kind of leapfrog and go forward. So what is AgriFin Mobile? The AgriFin Mobile program facilitates sustainable shared business models between application providers, banks, mobile network operators to reach smallholder farmers through development, integration, and implementation processes to provide a win-win of access to markets, technical, and financial services. And for us, we have this AgriFin Mobile wheel that we developed. And as you'll see in the wheel, there's lots of different parts of the agricultural season and a lot of different financial services and rural advisory services that can be provided to farmers. We think that this works the best when both the rural advisory services and the agricultural and the financial services are bundled together to meet the farmer's needs. The other thing that we found was too often different partners or the different actors were acting individually for each part of either the planting season or the planting season or the harvesting season. And we're working with those private sector partners to come up with solutions that are more holistic, that meets the farmer's needs throughout the entire growing cycle. So how do we do this? AgriFin Mobile takes an ecosystem approach where we build off of an ecosystem of public and private partnerships that are committed to serving smallholder farmers in a commercially sustainable way. The ecosystem requires banks, mobile network operators, smallholder farmer aggregators, rural advisory service providers, platform hosting, and content managers. All these different partners are necessary for success of the different business models that we're helping to establish. And so I'm going to hand it over to Mildred here, and she's going to talk about what we're doing in Zimbabwe specifically with Econet and the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, and how we've worked to establish a private and public partnership that is able to reach rural farmers. So Mildred, go.
Thank you, Trey. As Trey was saying, so the program is in 3 different countries, and in Zimbabwe, in the 3 different countries, the models are slightly different. In Zimbabwe, we've partnered with the mobile network operator, I think the leading mobile network operator in Zimbabwe, Econet Wireless, and we've also partnered with the Zimbabwe Farmers Union. The Zimbabwe Farmers Union is the leading smallholder farmer union in Zimbabwe as well. We've also partnered with the University of Zimbabwe. So from an academic institution point of view, we partnered with them to review content that we share with them, with farmers on the EcoFarmer platform. So for us is bringing all these partners together to make sure that they focus on serving the smallholder farmers, leveraging ICTs as well. So just looking back at the AgriFin Mobile wheel that Trey just introduced. So for us, it's key that at each moment, at each stage in the crop cycle, we'll look at the opportunities that we can develop solutions for smallholder farmers to ensure that there's improved efficiency and contribute to their increased output and income at the end of the day. So for us, there are opportunities for information services across the whole crop cycle. So seed recommendations when they're planting and fertilizer recommendation, weather information as well is critical. Market prices is also essential as well. And when we look at the financial services, we look at savings products for them to save towards inputs or other critical inputs. And then also on loans and insurance, I think credit is always a key issue with smallholder farmers. But we're also exploring insurance as well from a weather index insurance point of view, but also other components of insurance cover that smallholder farmers don't necessarily have access to. What we think is also essential is access to trading services. I think when the farmer is introduced, when he starts looking around for inputs, he should be able to have a platform where he can access reliable information about inputs and access the inputs themselves and be linked to traders, as well at the end, as well the output level as well, how they can interact with buyers as well on a reliable platform in an efficient way. So these are the critical areas that we're looking at with our partners in Zimbabwe and how we develop the services there. For us, we look at bundling, as Trey was saying, we bundle the services. I mean, advisory services alone are not sufficient, but perhaps partnered with a trading platform at the end of the day where farmers can be able to interact with a buyer could make sure that we attain our goal of improving their incomes. So for us, it's taking the key components and bundling them together on a unified platform. And for us, it's a mobile technology. And it's mobile technology. And with us, we've partnered with Econet to provide that platform as the EcoFarmer platform that provides these services in a bundled manner. As Trey was saying, it's all from a commercially sustainable point of view as a market systems development approach from Mexico. We want to ensure that these services continue beyond us. So we make sure that someone somewhere, as we develop these services, someone across the value chain pays for the services. So just to be clear on how we support the whole process ourselves as AgriFin Mobile. So we have key specific areas that we focus on. As we were alluding to the ecosystem development, we look at the landscape and we look at which partners are interested in the agricultural sector, what they're interested in, and who are committed for the long term for serving that market. So we bring together non-traditional partners and make sure they understand the benefits of collaboration going forward, especially for these innovative solutions. We also look at supporting product development. I think our key role in that area is making sure the partners focus on the end beneficiary and focus on the user and make sure that is clear going forward. We also support on pilot testing. I think with the innovative ideas, it's always key that we emphasize to our partners not to rush to the market, but iterate and iterate and iterate until we have a product that is tailor-made for our end beneficiary as well. We support on content development, as I was saying, with regards to our partnership with the university as well, to make sure that content is reviewed and is credible before it's sent to the smallholder farmers. We also support on marketing and distribution. This is regards to the products training itself, and then agent training as well with regards to the network of agents that interact with our farmers. We also support capacity building efforts, particularly mobile literacy training. I think that's key, especially with this mobile enabled platforms, how the farmer interacts with the mobile technology. He be able to navigate a USSD menu and access the services? Because if the services are there, is he able to access them? And as part of our objective, can he be able to accurately use them? So that's our emphasis as well. We also support with regards to financial literacy as well. Obviously, as NGOs, we do a lot of research as well to support the work that we've been doing, but also to support our partners going forward to make sure that they make decisions based on evidence that's from the ground as well. I think I'll speak to one of the products that our partners have introduced in the market right now. So the EcoFarmer ZFU Ecofarmer Combo is a product that sort of like bundles 3 key valuable services. So it's a product that bundles a funeral cover for 50 cents and also bundles advisory services. For us, selling advisory services purely on their own cannot be able to get you traction in the market. But bundling them with something that's essential for farmers, which is like funeral cover or something that you're introducing to the market. For example, the weather index insurance cover that we're introducing. I mean, the weather index insurance is something new to Zimbabwe, so we bundled it with something that farmers know to a certain extent and understand, funeral cover, and introduce them to a cover that is essential for them as smallholder farmers, as a key target market for us. But it also gave us the opportunity to allow the Zimbabwe Farmers Union to collect their membership dues. I think the way the product is structured allows the partners to be able to benefit from a commercial point of view, but also to be able to serve a market that has been underserved for a period of time. The weather index insurance cover, though, is limited to specific regions, is regions 1, 2, and 3, of course, and then the regions 4 and 5 are the drier regions in Zimbabwe. So definitely, the coverage is limited to the other regions in Zimbabwe. We also, on the bundle, it allows you to access maize tips depending on the region where you are, and then cattle tips in the cattle regions as well. So I think for us, the focus of this discussion was around the partnership itself. I mean, the products that are coming out from the partnership are amazing, and it's a great opportunity for the partners to leverage from it. But for us, what's valuable is how the partnership has been working over the years. The partnership itself is based on a commercial agreement right now, based on the current product on the market. And then, so from a ZFU point of view, ZFU, the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, acts as the human interface. I think it's essential to have a face to a product. I think when we talk about ICT initiatives, sometimes we forget that there is a level of interaction and human interaction that is essential for some of these innovations. And the ZFU, the Zimbabwe Farmers Union, is critical and plays that essential role in the communities because they also have structures on the ground. So it's trusted individuals on the ground that can be able to introduce this service to the market. But they also play a critical role in training and supporting the registration of the farmers, and then product development, as I was saying, involvement, and the output of it as well with regards to claims of insurance. Econet, obviously, it's co-owning the product. They give access to the unified platform, the EcoFarmer platform, and access to the EcoSure product. As I was saying, it's an insurance product, but from funeral insurance that's offered to any Econet subscriber, so you get access to that service as well. But they lead on product and software development. So the core system sits within Econet, but they also support on marketing and training activities to raise awareness. And I think if you look at it from a sustainable point of view, right now, Econet supports incentivizes the system to make sure that the agents continue to do the work. I think that's essential for us right now, because as we plan to move out of this space, it's essential that the partners take ownership of the process and make sure that key components that keep the product in place are taken up by the partners as well. So just for me, I'll just give 3 key success factors that I think are essential, I think, for such a partnership. For me, there needs to be an alignment with regards to the financial and social goals. And for me, with this partnership with the Zimbabwe Farmers Union and Econet, it was a matter of the Zimbabwe Farmers Union wanted a means of also collecting membership fees, but continue to offer services to their critical membership base. But also to Econet Wireless, it was an opportunity to generate revenue from a new customer base. I mean, the ag sector at large is what they're targeting under the EcoFarmer brand. So it's like there's an opportunity to reach out to this new customer base. So it's almost an opportunity to complement strengths, the face-to-face interaction on the ground, which the Zimbabwe Farmers Union brings on board, but access to a huge customer base that the Econet Wireless has, and access to other services that are critical there as well. So I think what is also important is working together. I think the partners have developed a product that is more valuable to the farmers, and the farmers are willing to pay. I think it's the willingness to pay with ICT products, the solutions, has always been a challenge. So it's about how you bring together the solutions or the services and bundle them together to create value for the farmer. So farmers are now willing to pay for a service that they see value for, and I think that's that's been critical, because from the understanding of the ZFU, they have an understanding of the farmer, which is one thing they've brought into the picture as well, to make sure that the MNO partner has a voice from the ground of what the farmer requires, and that interaction with the farmer is critical. But also riding on the investment that the mobile network operator has made. I think one of the critical success factors is that the partnership itself is continuing to grow and will develop new products beyond this. So outside the ZFU Combo, there are other solutions that are being developed by the partner. So it's beyond just this product, and there's mutual benefit in working together. So for me, what was essential for the partner in the beginning was to make sure that the partner's roles and responsibilities are clear, and the vision behind the whole services was also clear for both partners. The roles have evolved over the years and will continue to change depending on the solution at hand. But I think the way it's a long-term partnership and the partners have committed to continue to work together, I think is why this partnership is working for now. So I think just a farmer story. I think farmers, I talked about how the Farmers Union brings in membership to the ZFU as an additional feature of the product, but this allows the farmer to get access to inputs, discounted inputs from specific service providers that the ZFU has negotiated with. So these are some of the more tangible things that come out of the bundle of services that the farmers really talk about. The challenges and lessons learned, I think we can talk about the developmental and commercial objectives, but it's difficult to always balance the two all the time. I think in certain instances, the profitability of the product trumps the developmental objective, but that becomes our role to make sure that the partners are reminded of the value of the beneficiary and their demands as a beneficiary, and continue to make sure that there's a balance between the commercial and the developmental objectives. So as a program, this is where we play a key role to make sure the partners continue to focus on the end beneficiary. There's obviously mobile phone penetration is above 90% in Zimbabwe, but obviously there's an issue around the solutions themselves. They'll differ because of the design and everything. So there is need for a capacity building effort, and this is where the program plays a key role to make sure that mobile literacy trainings are conducted, to make sure that the farmers really understand the solution, navigating the USSD menu, as I was saying, and all that. And for us, we play a key role in also subsidizing the cost with regards to penetration of the market. So whilst balancing the developmental and commercial objectives, we make sure that a business case is built whilst we're in the specific space. So with that, we subsidize key activities and make sure we get to a point that our partners understand and have accepted that there is a case that is there for the solutions at hand. We also, as I was saying, we also support financial literacy training for our partners, for the beneficiaries as well. And then consistent payments of monthly subscriptions. So this is another issue that comes out from the developmental and commercial objectives. I mean, we thought it was an issue of farmers getting to pay on a monthly basis a small amount towards their subscriptions. So prorating some of the amounts that they was expected to pay on an annual basis. But because of the irregular incomes, we see that there are inconsistencies in payments of the subscriptions, and sometimes this affects their access to services. So for us, it's essential that we continue tweaking and refining the product. And also from a Mercycorp point of view, we try to push the uptake of the product and promote the product in periods where the farmer has income. So for example, the marketing season, we make sure that the farmers are well aware of the services and can pay bulk payments towards that service in advance. So these are some of the things that we're dealing with regards to the product and the partnership. With regards to learnings, as I was saying, human interface, it's essential. I think there's no way we can separate an ICT solution is just an ICT solution in the absence of somebody who introduces a trusted face that introduces the solution to the market, to the beneficiaries, and trains them on it. I think we won't have the uptick that we expect. So on the ground, we always expect, and I think it's important to have a human interaction of some level. That human face is essential as we roll out solutions in the market. I think as we were saying about the balance, the incentives for both organizations to be clear, the vision behind it, or what is driving them towards the partnership and the products itself. So I think that's always key for us as the NGO, to make sure that those are clearly articulated and continue to be clear for the partners as we move forward, so that there is commitment in a long-term way. I think just a summary of the future opportunities. I think there's opportunities to continue to do this in Zimbabwe, especially with the partners. As I was saying, the partners are committed to continue to do this. So there's an opportunity to continue to develop other services. Currently, we're developing other two innovative products that we won't talk about now, but this is interesting, and we hope that the partners will continue to do that beyond us. But there's space to support that in a long-term way as well. But we also think there's opportunities to build other ecosystems of partners in other sectors. ICT for D is only, I mean, there's a cross between ICT right now and financial services and advisory services for smallholder farmers, but maybe there could be opportunities with SMEs as well. In the new Zimbabwe, I think the opportunities are abound. We can talk about the informal sector at large and how we can work with private sector entities that are active in that space and interested in and committed to that space, and also private sector actors that are interested in that space. So I think there are immense opportunities with ICT in other sectors right now. I think financial and digital literacy will continue to be an issue that we need to continue to hammer into our farmers, to make sure that they fully understand the technology changes every day. So as new services and new products are introduced, I think we will need to make sure that our farmers don't get left behind, and continue to be taught about how to navigate, how to get access to the services and navigate the new services themselves. And then I think there's also an opportunity to really look at, if we're looking at the scenario with regards to the import suppliers, there's an opportunity to work with district-based private sectors. Like for us in Zimbabwe, it's more like really community-based private sectors, like the agro dealers, to make sure that the farmers value the face-to-face interaction. So make sure that we have entities in these communities that we can work with as private sector actors that still provide that face-to-face interaction with our farmers as well. So I think that's it from us.